What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the NBA Slate Starter Podcast. I'm Eric, joined with my buddy Ryan as we break down Tuesday's 5-game NBA DFS slate on DraftKings, FanDuel, and our sponsor, Yahoo. We are in the middle of a wild, I feel like I say this every slate starter now, we're in the middle of a truly wild slate. Aaron Gordon put up 29 fantasy points right out of the gate. He's not very owned, nor should he be, because there is value to be had. 94 different spots on this slate, especially the late night hammer, which we're exactly 1 hour and a half or 90 minutes away from the beginning of that. Need to be making, depending how our lineups do. Hopefully Jokic can just get there at the end here for me. But Ryan, how's your night going?
I have no idea. So much of the night hangs on one of the games at night, so tough to even have one lean or the other. So I have no clue. I have no idea. It could be awful. It could be fantastic. It could be miserable, and it could be just fine. If you were to tell me what happens at the end of the night, I'd love an awesome, fantastic slate, but I have no idea how this is going to end up.
Yeah, it's going to be a real sweat. Jokic, he's 1 assist away from a triple-double. I think I'm just going to assume he gets there. That'll be very fantastic to get. Looking forward to kind of seeing how this all pans out because, again, so many pieces from this late night game. We'll see how it goes. But hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell as you're getting in on YouTube. If you're listening to us over on any of your podcast platforms, we would appreciate those 5-star reviews. And hello once again to everybody at Twitter Spaces hanging out, listening to tomorrow's Slate Live. Maybe we'll do some showdown questions at the end. We'll take a couple questions here at the end, but as I said, many pieces of news to get to. 10 to these Portland pieces. We got the starting lineup, Elijah Hughes. That's going to be fascinating to see how this goes. But Ryan, 5 games. You ready to get going, my push and pee friend?
Yeah, let's ride.
Luka Doncic 11-4 on the top end. Could have used a guy like him today. I mean, you have DeJounte Murray who's going nuts, Trae Young who's going decently nuts, Tyrese Halliburton really the massive smash, especially over on FanDuel. I mean, what is that $7,500 tag? But Luka Doncic 11-4 on tomorrow's slate, that being Tuesday, looking fantastic against a Lakers team that couldn't guard Ryan or myself. Kyrie Irving 10-8. He continues to be crazy popular. I know that you looked at the home narrative. I looked at the home narrative, thought that, it was a decent enough spot, but it seems like he is really getting overowned on some of these slates. I think there's massive upside against anybody, maybe coming off of a poor home performance. He really wants to get back on track, but you could say that about any top 25 basketball player, period, where they come off a poor performance. You want them to bounce back. So 10-8 tournament option only for me. James Harden 10-2 against Milwaukee. Nice to get a little bit of a salary decrease there, but your boy Cade Cunningham, he's making his way up to 9K. He's at 8,800. He's almost there. He's definitely going to be there, especially with news that Jeremy Grant is going to be out for the rest of the season. That's going to open up some Detroit value, or quote-unquote value, but for sure some tournament interest in a guy like Cade Cunningham. How do you feel about him and the rest of the top-end options on DraftKings at guard?
Yeah, so the top end is obviously Luka taking on a Lakers team without LeBron James, most likely. Kyrie Irving is $10,800 against Detroit. He can certainly light it up, but I like the savings in falling on a guy like Harden, $600 cheaper. So, but this leaves us to the Russell Westbrook question. If there's no LeBron James, can we go there in confidence? I've been aggressively going to Russell Westbrook, and for the most part, it hasn't worked out. I still will try to get pretty aggressive above the field on a guy like him. It might be his show to carry this team. Anthony Davis is going to return soon. He started practicing with the team. So we might get Russ for a few games on his own, and might as well. If there's a guy who's going to give me triple-double upside, it's going to be Russell Westbrook. But let's look to save down a little bit. You do get a Reggie Bullock in that same game, $4,200, where you get the three-point bonus, has been playing really well, just knocking down the three-pointer, getting the three-point bonus. Another guy who's getting the three-point bonus is Corey Kispert. He's $3,900 playing probably the best basketball of his rookie season so far. But it keeps us in a position where you can even look to a guy like Killian Hayes, who's playing like a lottery pick over the last 2 weeks. He's young. He was the youngest player in the draft. He's getting the things figured out. And he's improving his biggest weaknesses, which was getting the ball in the bucket. And that helps in fantasy production. And he's always was a above average defender for his age, was really impressive. But I don't mind going to him. And then Ayo Dosunmu's in play. If he's going to continue to start at $4,400, Don't mind going to Awesemo.
Back-to-back nights, Ryan recommending Illini great. There we go. That's such a weird word to say, the Illini. But the Illini great, Ayo Dosunmu, your boy now. I would say back-to-back nights makes him your boy.
I don't know about that. If that was the case, I'd have a ton of boys, and I only have a certain select. So let's roll with that.
Anthony Davis closer to returning, so he's doubtful for tomorrow. He's one of your boys. That's correct. Top end here on FanDuel, we've got Luka 10-5. Still a broken tag. Great job, guys. James Harden 10K. You can play him at small forward. That makes no sense. Kyrie Irving 9,800. Now we're talking. I think I could get to some more of him over on FanDuel, but you can kind of play everybody on FanDuel. That's how the pricing works. But DeRozan and Levine, once again, going to be sub 8K on a back-to-back here. Interesting spot. Cade Cunningham, 7,700. We got Chris Middleton back, 7,500. But I got to say, the big news of the day for tomorrow, maybe not for fantasy purposes because he's 9,300, but Paul George questionable. That's fun to see. I know it's an elbow issue, so, I mean, obviously I'm not worried about his cardio. If he's out there, I doubt he plays like 34 minutes or anything like that, but I just like seeing him in play again. He will be in play sooner rather than later, especially with the likes of Reggie Jackson, the likes of Nicholas Batum, these other guys that are going to be on minutes limits going forward. Not today, but how excited are you to see Paul George back in action?
Very. Paul George is top 20 NBA player when healthy. I mean, he's an amazing basketball talent, two-way player. I'm glad to see him healthy. Maybe the Kawhi Leonard joins him sometime soon, and all of a sudden, the Clippers look like a dark horse to come out of the West.
I bet them as soon as that news came out, because I was like, Kawhi might be on the horizon here, and just having to avoid the play-in game, they've avoided it somehow. Somehow they're not, they're going to be able to have two games to be able to get in. Correct? They're an 8th behind Minnesota.
So 7-8, the winner's automatically in. If you lose, you play the winner of 9 and 10. Now, if you lose,
so they're going to have 2 cracks at it now at this point.
Yeah, that's one way to look at it. Yeah. But over here, it's Luka Doncic. It's 10-5. You got to have some interest over here in Luka for sure. I really like that price tag for Luka Doncic. There should be some value to open up as we are seeing the late March NBA, early April NBA is going to be a frenzy, and that's going to help us roster guys like Luka much more easily. But if you don't like Luka, Kyrie Irving is only $9,800. He's fine to fall on. He is going to be a little bit popular, I think, maybe in a Detroit spot. Yeah, I think he'll be fine. I like the savings in the same game and going to Cade. He's $7,700. I think it's a nice savings there to fall on Cade. And Russell Westbrook's $8,100. I don't expect LeBron James to play, so that's why I like Russ even tomorrow. So if you want to pen down here, I'm going to have to say Ayo Dosunmu's name again. He's $3,600. He's even a better play here. And Satoransky is $3,600. So those guys look outstanding. And no one else, I think Dorian Finney-Smith at $4,500, just because of the minutes he plays, is fine to fall on. But outside of that, everyone's priced pretty well. I think Taylor Horton-Tucker is going to be in play. When LeBron James is going to be out, he's $3,500. I think he deserves an honorable mention.
I think lock button Nikola Jokic is actually going to work out. That's going to be fascinating. He's up to 55 now in the early going here. 4 minutes left in the third. That bodes well. He's only got one foul too. This guy could put up, he's going to put up 15-15-15 tonight. He could put up 20-15-20. That is on the table.
Yeah, I think Russell Westbrook did the 20-20-20 game.
Only guy I know of. Did Oscar Robertson ever do it?
I don't know if Oscar did, but
come on now, you got to know basketball Rolodex.
I mean, I can give any run for their money 2000 and onwards, but not anything pre-2000. That's just not necessary, I think, to know. I kid, but I just don't know much before the NBA before the year of 2000. Yeah, Russell Westbrook, that was in 2019, I think, was when he pulled that off. Mm-hmm. Oh, crazy. That's when he was on the Thunder, and he's been on 3 teams since then. But looking around, so we going
yeah, we just finished out that. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, we just got word, going to miss the rest of the season. That's not news to us for tomorrow, but it's news to us for fantasy purposes. Obviously, he was never playing today, but let's head over to Yahoo here, guard. Rest of it for the position here. By the way, shout out Ugly 8 Game. Good to see you hanging out here in the Twitter spaces. You've been doing good in the DFS streets. Keep it going. Yahoo, top end. We got Luka. There's a little bit of an echo that showed up here too. I don't know if that's on my end, but Luka, $53. James Harden, 47. Kyrie, 44. You're getting a discount, 53 to 44. So might have to be thinking about it a little bit more on Yahoo if salary is going to end up being a thing, but Luka always going to be the priority straight up for me. Going to project out exponentially better, but Russell Westbrook, $30. Cade Cunningham, shooting guard, $33. That becomes interesting. We've seen some major upside from Jalen Brunson, $22. Very, very contrarian play, but we've seen what kind of upside he can have from time to time. But your boy, Ayo Dosunmu, $11. I don't know if I can really land there with how good the top end and mid-range is at point guard, but is there anybody else that's cheap that you might have interest in?
Cheap that I have interest in here. Not really. I don't think it's necessary to go all the way cheap in the guard. I think there's some loaded options up top. You mentioned Cade. I think you got a sub $50 Harden. I think these guys look fantastic. $30 Westbrook. It's going to put Donovan Mitchell on an island, and I don't mind it to play Donovan Mitchell at $37. He does have 50-point fantasy upside while spending down a little bit. I do think targeting one of the Clippers guys as they play their minutes are going to be a little bit lower down the stretch. I know Paul George is potentially going to return. But you still have Kennard at 10. I think you can fire off at him. Goran Dragic. No, you can't go to Goran Dragic. I thought that through that Kyrie Irving's there. So not many guys who are at $10. I think Ayo Dosunmu at 11 is fine. His teammate Kobe White? No, not really. Just looking at guys who are cheap right now. But no, it's no real reason to spend all the way down. I do think just giving yourself a nice solid floor in the mid-tier guys and up makes a ton of sense. I mean, we touched on Westbrook. I think Conley's also in play only at $20. Malik Monk, $18. Nope. LeBron James, I think you should definitely consider him as a not strong option, pretty good option.
That was the last guy. I mean, he took over a lot of the offense there. LeBron tweaked his ankle, didn't look right, got off the floor. But Malik Monk in that fourth quarter was really offensive-minded against the Pellies. Really going to have to be offensive-minded here going forward without LeBron. But here we go. Still, this is the best deal that exists in the industry, period. Yahoo. Get 1 free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum as a new user. So anybody who's never played at Yahoo, deposit $10, play in any paid contest, and you will get everything we offer behind the paywall completely free for 1 month. We have the Masters coming up. Tiger could be back. I will be there. I'm looking forward to it. Please, one-time dealer. But we have Masters. You're going to want everything golf-related for that. The Top Golfers tool, PGA Pro Plays, everything we offer behind the paywall for that sport. MMA, we've got Top Fighters tool, every projection you could possibly want, ownership and actual projections. We have NASCAR and F1 and so many different sports, and MLB coming back in less than 2 weeks. I believe April 7th, FanDuel just posted all their contests, 100K to first for that opening day. Cannot wait. Hope you guys are excited. I sure am. So stop guessing star winning. Join us here at Awesemo with this promotion over at Yahoo, the best place to play daily fantasy because of lower rake, better contests, much more winnable. All right, let's go to the forward position. How are your lineups going? Again, you still have no idea, do you?
No, I haven't even have anything pulled up. I'm just waiting to late swap.
Swap. I'm looking at Jokic, 56.25. That seems good. Tyrese Halliburton, 48. Clint Capella, man. Every center smashes Indiana. I got to play more of them. I just didn't play enough Capella tonight. I think I had like 8% or something. Should have had more, but only one center on a lot of spots. It was always going to be Jokic. Let's head to the forward position. DraftKings top end. Giannis, we've got him at 11-7 there. He's probable. He's going to be ready to go. Kevin Durant, 11-3 against Brooklyn. So Milwaukee playing Philly, that's going to be so entertaining and fun. Detroit, Brooklyn, less entertaining, less fun. But Kevin Durant and Kyrie together, that's still good stuff. LeBron, doubtful. probably not going to be giving it a go. You got a 9K Paul George, power forward only over on DraftKings. We already talked about him. Don't think he's really going to be that in play for me. Really not at all, unless we hear no minutes limit, but I assume there's going to be something there. Cade Cunningham, 8,800. Porzingis, 8,500 against Chicago. That's where I really start to get excited after the Giannis tier. Kevin Durant will be really low owned, but Porzingis, 8,500, really looks like a smash to me. And last shout out, Saddiq Bey, 7K looks really, really wonky against Brooklyn. That game could get out of hand, but no Jeremy Grant, out for the rest of the season. We're going to see that more and more. Do you like Saddiq Bey or Marvin Bagley the third more, considering I'm assuming they just both start the rest of the way?
Yeah, Marvin Bagley. Marvin Bagley, for the first time in his career, has put up 25 plus real points on back-to-back nights. So showing why he was the number 2 overall pick, right? I mean,
he can't guard anyone. He is an undersized 5. He doesn't space the floor. He's not a good shooter. Okay, I'm done. That's all.
He's a very talented offensive player, though.
Yes,
he's got great touch.
Hey, go Duke. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, maybe things turn around with him. He does have a very good 2-man game developing with Cade Cunningham. But the forward spot here, I really do like Giannis at 11-7. I like going to him in significant fashion. But coming around 11-3, can be tough. I do prefer Giannis by a significant amount. I do like Bagley in the mid-tier. Now, the Lakers situation, obviously, when you're missing a guy like LeBron James, you're going to get the likes of Carmelo Anthony, Stanley Johnson, a nice little roulette of guards and forwards there. Even Austin Reeves is going to get minutes. So can one of those guys get it done? Sure, but to know in confidence makes things very difficult. Corey Kispert, we mentioned $3,900 here. He's fine to fall on. Kristaps Porzingis, $8,500. I like a decent amount against Chicago. I just think in those 30 minutes, he's trying to shoot the ball as many times as he can. I mean, the ball should go through Porzingis when he's on the court. He's their best offensive talent. So he's someone to fall on. I do think DraftKings has done a great job with pricing. One of the Washington forwards in Rui Hachimura's you can look at. You keep in mind he has a ceiling within him. We just haven't seen it happen in some time. So that's a guy I think it deserves a mention as well. But I think Maxi Kleber is cheap enough at $3,400 where he could find a fluky way to pay that salary off on this type of slate.
Agree with everything you just put out there. Reggie Perry to sign a 10-day contract with the Blazers. God forbid if he plays tonight. Reggie Perry, oh my God, that would ruin all of the Eubanks and all of the land on FanDuel.com, on Yahoo.com, even a little bit on DraftKings.com. I would lose my mind. I don't think they can possibly do that. But whatever. Giannis 11-4 on FanDuel. LeBron 11K won't play. Kevin Durant 10-8. We've got James Harden 10K. Small forward eligible. That's always nifty. Looking over at power forward, you got Kristaps Porzingis 8,800. It's so weird to see Isaiah Hartenstein up to 6,400. That's not going to be for me anymore. He was my really low-owned play the other night. Worked out well for that slate. Will not be going that direction at 6,400 on FanDuel. Marvin Bagley, they're $100 less. Yes, please. And even Tobias Harris, starting to be among the living. I do expect for him to be a beneficiary of James Harden being on the floor alongside him. 38 minutes, finally, I mean, he got off to a hot start, only put up 31.1, but now he's sub 6K. I have some interest going that direction. Do you?
No, I still don't have much interest in going to Tobias Harris.
Dear Lord, that's such a plummet in opinion. I mean, it's bonkers. Tobias Harris cannot be playable.
The next time I'll probably be playing Tobias Harris maybe on a 2-game playoff slate, honestly. That's how I feel about him.
Wow.
I mean, he needs to be, I think, like $5,000, and I'll start considering him.
Have your dad negotiate your contracts, man. Good times.
I mean, I just can't. I just can't.
Bag, at least.
I just can't. I think Marvin Bagley, $6,300 looks fine. I think Saddiq Bey is the Detroit forward I would play here at $5,500. I prefer Bey to like Tobias Harris, honestly. I think Saddiq Bey just would project better and you save a little bit. I think Carmelo Anthony's in play at $4,100. I think it's a pretty strong price tag with no LeBron James. We've seen Denny Abdia play really well, but I prefer saving $500 and going to KCP. That's fine to go to. And Dorian Finney-Smith, $4,500. I think that's something to consider. But outside of that, upside guys to mention. Obviously we've touched on Giannis, KD, and James Harden also has small forward eligibility. But the next year, guys like DeRozan sub 8K, Porzingis in that same game, even Middleton in that nice Eastern Conference heavyweight panel. So those guys look like options to consider.
All right, let's head over to Yahoo here. Kyle Anderson starting to do some things in the universe. That's cool. 6 points, 3 boards, 6:46 left there. Chris Chioza just and one. He just made a bucket there and one for Kyle Anderson. I just need Kuminga back on the floor. This is not good. Let's head to Yahoo. Who cares? Top end, Giannis 57. We've got Kevin Durant 52. DeMar DeRozan 37. Chris Middleton 32. It's really kind of bleak on the top end. A forward from the outside, if you can get up to Giannis, you do it with the value that you could have. We'll see how the Paul George news ends up coming out. But Sadiq Bey, $25. That's somebody that I'm probably going to have a lot of interest in. Carmelo Anthony is $14. Shout out to him, absent LeBron James. I don't assume that he ends up starting, but they seem to be locked into this bench role. But I think it's a non-zero chance that he could start there. I know Dallas, slowest paced team in the league, but just so much opportunity for all these guys. Kispert, you talked about, he's $11. Anybody else that really sticks out to you here over on the Yahoo slate at forward?
Yeah, the Yahoo slate is very interesting just because you got to load it up top. I mean, Kevin Durant and Giannis, $5 does a lot on Yahoo, but I think going to the mid-tier guys like DeRozan, Middleton, and Bey look ideal. If you want to play Tobias Harris, I think you can do it on Yahoo at 19, but that's about it, I feel like. But going down here, Rui Hachimura is $10. He looks good. Kelly Olynyk's been playing minutes with the injury to Jeremy Grant. Kelly Olynyk's going to have one of those games before the season is done, and we'll be like, wish we played him. And Kelly Olynyk at $11. I think his ownership will be low, but has upside. Talon Horton-Tucker is $10. This guy's going to have to start playing some minutes. I mean, he's offensive, can create his own shot. There's just been no consistency with this Lakers team. I feel like they haven't played with the same starting lineup for like more than 3 games in a row. Do you think they'll make the play-in game?
The Lakers? I think so. Anthony Davis, I think, will probably return by the end of the week. That's got to bode well for maybe a win or two. I mean, the Lakers had a pretty brutal end of the season schedule from what I saw. It's not ideal because they're the Lakers and they play a lot of primetime stuff when it matters. I think they probably find a way to the 10 seed. If you can get a healthy LeBron with this ankle and Anthony Davis on the floor together, you can obviously win 2 games and get in. I'd say it's probably closer to 50-50 than most people. What do you think?
I would like them to make it just because I do think the NBA is more fun when there's more stars in the postseason. And how can you not want to see a LeBron James in a play-in game in a must-win?
Well, you hate the Lakers like me, and you live in Los Angeles and think it's funny when they're bad.
Yeah, I just like entertaining products. And it's more entertaining seeing them. And nothing against Mr. Gumbo, Zion Williamson, and Brandon Ingram. They'll have their time. But I do think I'd rather see LeBron James do his thing.
LeBron James. Siakam up to 37 already. That quarter just started. That's dicey for me. Do you have some Siakam in your life?
I do. I did like Siakam today. I think people forgot that Boston's playing with like a G League team and didn't account for that.
Well, he's got 25 and 6. He's got 3 fouls, so he's walking a tightrope there. But I just need like 2 more threes out of Fred VanVleet, and then I can live my life accordingly. Because I just had props.
Damn, Aaron Gordon is turning into a must-have. Yikes!
I don't like it. I don't like it. Let's head to center and round this out, and then we will head to the Twitter Spaces. We got Ugly 8 game. Good to see you again, Ty Blunt, Robbie, Jeff, and Jeff. Love that, and Keith. Thanks for hanging out here live as we're doing this lovely recording of the NBA Slate Starter podcast. We'll do questions quickly. We'll get out of there. We have lots of late swapping to do because I got to see how my damn lineups are doing even. Let's head to center. Top end. Joel Embiid's there, 11-3. I'm wondering how you feel about him compared to the rest of the studs because we do have Luka, we have Giannis, we have Embiid. I'm not asking you to look at your projections right now and tell me from a gut feel, Ryan, rank those 3 for me on this slate. Giannis, Luka, Joel Embiid.
Giannis, Luka, Joel Embiid. Giannis, Luka, Joel Embiid. Luka, Giannis, Embiid.
Luka, Giannis, Embiid. Okay. Because I think the guard value isn't as good as we've had on some other slates. Like there's not.
It'll get good by the slate starts.
It probably will. But I'm saying Russell
Yeah.
Westbrook's at least like increased up to 8,800. The mid range, it doesn't feel great down here. Like I'm saying point guard specifically. So like Luka, I think has a little bit more value than the other guys simply because I do like some of these other center options as well.
Oh, I agree.
Like Hardenstein's 4,700 there. Like, why did his price go down?
I'm not sure, but I wish he did not erupt for like 30 fantasy points in the last 2 minutes of the game.
I did, but then I didn't. I didn't know that you needed him not to, even though I feel like I talked about him for half an hour on whatever day that was. Friday, I talked about him for half an hour.
Yeah, I think it would have been fine to just play him, but I didn't expect him to be like the high scoring center on the slate when it was all said and done. I think he was, which was pretty remarkable. And there were some other contests where I would have liked to lock down, but it is what it is.
But Joel Embiid's a good option. We're not besmirching Joel Embiid against Milwaukee, but you do get Brook Lopez and Serge Ibaka. Those are guys that come playoff time, and this is for all intents and purposes a matchup of two teams you would expect to see each other in the playoffs or have a very high probability of it. They're out there to play defense on him. And Brook Lopez, if he's healthy, is a great defender. Serge Ibaka can be. He's older, but he still has that ability to be a problem. So I'm looking forward to this game.
Yeah, it's going to be a great overall basketball talent game that we're going to be dealing with. So I think Embiid looks fantastic at 11-3. 8.5 Porzingis is a solid savings. In that same game, Vooch, 8K. I think I'd rather save another 700 if Rudy Gobert is going to play. Now, Andre Drummond taking on his former team, Detroit. We'll see the LaMarcus Aldridge situation. Do we have word on? It's been tough to. I didn't like how Drummond last game, and he played really well, just because Aldridge was being back in the picture. So I think I'll still proceed with caution. Center kind of sucks outside of Embiid in the upper tier. I think you could definitely play Bagley at 5,600, and cheaper guys. I think sub 4K. You can sprinkle in guys like Dwight Howard and Maxi Khaliba. Olynyk also deserves an honorable mention at $3,700.
All righty. Heading over to FanDuel. Again, center usually goes faster, fewer options, but Joel Embiid, 11-2 there. I don't know how you have Jokic at 10-9 today and Embiid at 11-2 there tomorrow, but here we are. Great job. Good effort. Whatever. Keep it moving down. You got Vooch, 7,600. That's a guy you've been targeting a lot. 6,600 Drummond. $1,000 increase in his tag over on FanDuel, but I still have interest there. Zubats, 5,600. Haven't said his name yet. He is the great American hero to me. Not from America, but he is a hero to me. That is for darn sure. And all the way down here a little bit further, we already got news that we have no Hassan Whiteside. Rudy Gobert, he's questionable. If he doesn't play, talk to me a little bit about this Jazz value based on what we saw last time out.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, we might even see Greg Monroe back in the picture. So it might get even a lot more difficult to figure out.
Kick me in the head, please.
So I don't think I think just avoiding the Jazz front court might be the move. Or play Gobert if he's in, which I would like a decent amount. But in this situation here, Isaiah Stewart is 5,200 if you're looking for a mid-tier option. We know what Embiid and Porzingis have been giving us of late. They look like fine options to play. Porzingis power forward center eligibility, while Embiid's center only. I think is pretty nice. A very nice option at 11-2. I think you can play Bagley even at the center spot. But outside of that, center kind of sucks. And center actually really sucks tomorrow. So outside of Embiid and those guys. Well, the Clippers keep limiting guys, and it is what it is. Can you go to Bobby Portis at 5,100 in long shot tournaments? Sure. But even then, it's super, super thin to play a guy like him. If it's just rough. If there is no Gobert, I still don't like playing Eric Pascal. So it is just a kind of a stay away Utah situation. Olynyk, 4,100. I'd rather play Olynyk than Eric Pascal, as gross as that can be.
Siakam up to 45. Ryan could have something cooking. That'd be fun. Let's head to Yahoo. Center top end, Embiid 56. Porzingis 35. Remember, strict positionality over here on Yahoo. That makes it kind of fascinating to see how Porzingis will project next to an Embiid for $21 less. That's kind of interesting. Vooch even further down, $32. And Andre Drummond, $23. Marvin Bagley, 21. Okay, so center sucked on the other two sites. It is pretty good over here on Yahoo. Talk through these options to round it out for this edition of the Slate Starter.
Center over here is much better. You can definitely spend up top, but the mid-tier guys like Porzingis, Vooch, and Gobert look great. Even the next tier guys of Stewart, Bagley, and Drummond, pretty darn solid. They're all favorable, and we haven't really mentioned two centers. You can play them together, and I think Yahoo, they're priced pretty favorably to fall on. Look, Marvin Bagley, honestly, in this role could be a 7K player, given starters minutes. And I'm not kidding. There was a time when in Sacramento, Marvin Bagley was a 7K player. Just the offensive production he was providing. So keep that in mind. And I hope he improves defensively, because if he does, he turn out to be a formidable NBA rotation player.
Alrighty. Let's get ourselves on out of here then. Ryan, any final words for the people on today's slate or tomorrow's slate for anything you want at all?
Please definitely leave those 5-star reviews and hit the like button. And thanks so much for tuning in to the Slate Starter.
He's Ryan. He needs to go late swap. I'm Eric. I really need to go late swap. We'll see you guys later.